I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That's simple means it. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can my energy. Nobody can tell me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me apart. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a little strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a little everybody's strength, no weakness, show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I does God. I does God. And I'm a kind.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer.
Hey, Ride Along. Welcome to the ride, welcome to the ride, welcome to Tuesday on the ride. Let me tell you all, it's a nasty Tuesday outside, guys. It's not really a bright and sunny Tuesday at all. Nevertheless, we have to give thanks and praises for whatever, right? It's a blessed day nonetheless. All right? Strength, no weakness. And yours truly is a little bit under the weather, guys. Everything is just not going great today. But nevertheless, I said we have to give thanks and praise for everything. So while you bear with me, it's going to be a rocky, rugged kind of Tuesday kind of vibe. Okay? I just started by picking up some of our loyal viewers, supporters. Everyone sharing, everyone loving. Let me do the same as well. Let me go ahead and share the ride. Share it. Hey, Janelle, how you doing? Big up yourself. Make sure you share as you come in. Hey, Joseph, big up yourself. As you come in, guys, just share the live, as I'm doing right now. Share it on a page. Share it in a group. Share it to somebody that you know will definitely benefit from this program today, because there's a lot to discuss. I'll tell you the topic shortly, in case you haven't been following and watching the posters that we put out earlier. 2 more groups and I'm done. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? Big up yourself, Andrea. Andrea, I really appreciate you. You don't know how much I appreciate you. Andrea, keep me on point, I'm telling you. Andrea, keep me on point, Jed. Andrea wastes no time. She keep me on point. Big up yourself. Big up the folks on Twitter. With AKA Apple. Yeah, the folks over there on Twitter. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Thanks for watching on Periscope. Greetings to you. Greetings to all. The folks over there on YouTube. YouTube live and kicking. Favor King, thank you so much. Big up yourself for the folks over there on YouTube. So we got the Facebook locked on. We got the YouTube locked on. We also have people that you could watch us over on our media platform. It's riderslive.com. So the folks over there on riderslive.com watching us, big up yourself. How you doing? Riderslive.com locked on as well. Everybody alive and kicking and watching and tuning. Big up. Let me know where you guys watching us from. Let me know where you guys are watching us from. I wanna make sure we connected with everybody.
You gotta be firm.
Yeah, and still you watching from Brooklyn. Big up yourself, Brooklyn. Big up yourself, Brooklyn. Chantel Evans, my good friend. Thank you so much for locking it down. Chemo. Rochelle Cummins, you watching over on YouTube. Big up yourself, folks. Big up the YouTube crew. Jackie Chaitan. How you doing? Big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for logging in. All right, guys, listen. 2 weeks ago, I believe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right? This story broke on. It was a news clip that we saw on GBN. It involved another allegation of police brutality, right? This one was kind of different, right? It had a female that was in the middle, that was telling the story, that was in the middle of a confrontation with police. Now she shared her story on GBN, and we're gonna play her back for you. And there was an uproar because the police then released their version of it, which they said and deny the allegation happened as was broadcasted, as was told in the initial story, right? So there are a lot of moving parts of this story right here. Now we want to just understand what happened, what transpired, what would cause, as alleged, what would cause police officers to confront a female, as alleged, and allegedly beat up the female, and initially came to arrest but didn't arrest. And as alleged, I'm saying as alleged because, again, there's two sides of this story. The police left without formally arresting the individual. What caused all of this stuff? So let me play back the story, the initial story that was told on GBN, so we could further and kind of understand a little bit, understand this a little bit more. This is a story that was broadcasted on GBN that started the whole fiasco. Check it out.
Candy Joseph, a resident of Lasaja San David, sought the help of the media to highlight an alleged incident she calls police brutality, which occurred last Friday night near her home. The young mother said after flogging her two children, 12 and 14 years old, earlier that day, the children subsequently went to hide by a neighbor. She said that approximately after 10 p.m. that night, she awoke to police officers at her door.
The 4th day of June, I was already in my bed, and while lying there, I heard like somebody was calling out to me, "Good night, good night." I woke up, and then while coming outside, I heard one of the persons say, "Good night, this is St. David Police Station." So I came out and I opened the door. When I opened the door, I realized there was 3 male police officers. So they tell me that they got a report stating that I put out my children. So I explained to them, I say, well, that's not true. And I explained to them what had really transpired, you know. So the officer say, okay, well, that's not the report they really got. It was something different. Somebody called and say that I put the children out that hour. I suspected it was a neighbor. So at the same time the police left, I came outside and I saw that a group of them was standing down, lower down from where I'm living. So I went down there and I was telling them about, look what they're doing. How you all could do such thing like that. After the police left, I came down here. Them girls, them was sitting, the neighbor and the others, they were sitting right there. So we was more like this way. So me and the young lady that got in the argument, we was like this way. So the police will probably come back up. I probably see them. But you, my son, are already paying attention. So most of the fight broke out. So I brought to my back now and the officer had me in my neck. One of the officers grabbed me from behind and grabbed me from my neck and was holding me so tight. And while he grabbed me from behind and was squeezing me so tight, the other 2 officers start throwing blow to my face. I get slapped, I get punched in the eye. But if you look at under my eye properly, you see one is darker than one. That's from one of the blow that I got. To tell you the honest truth, if I remember which one did it, I really don't know because it was both of them just pointing cough and slap to my face. My breast was literally out. And my breast was literally in the officer's hand. How he had me, my panty was outside. I was totally exposed. So them leave her now. And the officer just took me. So I ain't know thing, and I just go over, just throw me over there on the ground. I got up and I come back out. One in blue that I didn't recognize, he threw me over there.
Joseph says it was bad enough that the 3 male officers accosted her, but the way she was handled almost put her health at risk. After recently undergoing surgery, she claimed the manhandling she was subjected to left her with a reopened wound.
After doing the surgery, because of what happened, how it squeezed me so tight in the belly. I guess it ruptured the surgery. It kind of affected it, you know. And days after, I was noticing like little bleeding and stuff, and things like that.
Joseph said she went to police headquarters in St. George to file a report, but feels as if she's being carried through a rigmarole. She's hoping that the matter can be addressed so that no one else will suffer the same fate.
And that from that day, I took it to higher authorities. I went on the fort. The officer on desk told me, them I need to speak to, and them I need to lay out the complaint to. So they gave me the doctor papers. I went out and I get the doctor papers and stuff. And I went in and I gave them the report to the officers. And from listening to the officers, what I was getting out of them is like they're already finding ways to make up for what happened. And I feel the way I felt after leaving there and while being there, I feel like I already get the feeling that there wasn't going to be proper justice. I really like for the police or the commissioner of police and the government of Grenada to do the excessive necessary that they need to do or set in place to ensure that these officers doesn't go about doing this thing to other people.
GBN visited the St. David police station to inquire about the initial report of the incident and was referred to the Community Relations Department. We were promised a follow-up into the alleged report as the officers on duty at the time the report was made were absent. 1 week ago, police arrested and charged one of their own after a civilian reported abuse against the officer. Corporal of Police Kenny Harry was charged for the offense of grievous harm following an alleged incident between himself and
So that was the account by the alleged victim on this particular incident here. But as we said, there are always multiple sides to the story, and we wanted to hear the police point of view. So the police also released a statement, a video in this clip. Check out this clip. This is the police account of what happened. Again, we want to look at all sides of this, guys. This is what the police is claiming actually happened. Video play. All right.
Just want to go on record as saying that what we have heard in the news last night is very far from what has happened, and in due course and in due time, the truth of this incident will be made known.
Superintendent Vanny Cohen, head of the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, as he debunked claims of police brutality reported by Candy Roberts of Lasaja St. David against members of the RGPF. In last evening's newscast, Joseph told GBN she had been assaulted by 3 male officers attached to the St. David police station. Superintendent Kerwin said upon responding to a call, the 3 officers were met with aggression. This is based on accounts by eyewitnesses.
We have had 4 eyewitnesses account of the incident outside that of the police officers. And all 4 of the eyewitnesses are very consistent in terms of what has happened. And what has happened is not police brutality as was told. The lady was arrested and refused to go to the police transport, and in fact she attacked the police. There were comments that were made about if she had a knife, what and what she would not have done. Those comments were alarming and very perplexing by those who witnessed the incident. We did not have to go out to search for information. It was so disgusting that many of the civilians who were present came into the police station and voluntarily provided information to the police.
Tolerance, patience, tact. The superintendent's response when questioned about why Candy Joseph was not arrested as the officers had attempted to do.
Sometimes, tolerance, patience, tact needs to be stepped into a situation. There were 3 police officers, and it was very easy for 3 police officers to arrest her physically and take her away. But the confrontation that would have caused, it was better not to continue the confrontation further. She's somebody who is known and can be taken to court by other means. And so a decision was made there and then to leave her, and she would be taken to court by other means. But I am sure that the force that was on the ground was enough to carry her away. But the fight that ensued and would have continued if they had done that, perhaps more people would have gotten hurt. So it was thought, that let good sense and good judgment prevailed and abort the arrest. But she will be taken to court, and she too will have her day in court.
Superintendent Kerwin says investigations will prove the truth of the incident, and with the directive from the Department of Public Prosecution, a suitable response to the matter will be provided.
All right, so there we go. So there you guys understand how perplexing this story is. We have a situation here where there is 2 complete polar opposite of this story. The police is making one claim, and they say they have 4 eyewitnesses to back up their claim. And here we have Candice. So let's bring on Candice. Candice today is joining us via WhatsApp. We had some issues connecting with her video earlier today. So let's see if we could get her on via the WhatsApp. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good, good, good. Well, sorry we couldn't see you and be more personal with you on the video. We have to join you on WhatsApp. Nevertheless, it's important that we hear your story. It's important that your story be told. So tell us what happened prior. What started this whole thing, Candice?
Okay, first of all, I must begin by saying pleasant good afternoon to the listening public. Yeah, and so I must start. On June 4th, um, around around 7 or so, my children did something that was wrong, and I flagged them. So happened that the children probably went under the neighbor house and hide. You know, sometimes when you discipline children, children tends to retaliate in different manners. You know,
Right.
Children always be children, right? So happened apparently one of the neighbors called the police and said that I put the children out, which that didn't happen. So probably around after 9, 10 or so, I was in my bed lying down. Well, I already do what I have to do. Probably not true to share on social media. So probably around after 9 minutes to 10, I was lying on my bed. While lying there, I heard somebody saying good night, good night, good night. Then I got up. So by the time I reached to like the middle of the house, I heard somebody say, "It's the police." So then I came and I opened the door. When I opened the door, I noticed it was 3 male officers. I recognized 2. I did not recognize the other one and stuff like that. Then the officer said to me, which is Kimon Williams, he said that we got a report stating that you put the children out. So I explained to the officer that's not true, you know. I explained to them what really had transpired, and so happened they took my report and they left. At the same time, I went outside and I noticed the neighbors had called the police making this kind of accusation. So I saw a couple of them were standing down there. The police left, and I saw a couple of my neighbors were standing lower down from where I'm living. So I went down there and I was telling them, you know, because this is not the first problem that I'm having apparently with the neighbors, you know. So I went down there and I was telling them, I say, look, you all just call police saying such kind of thing, and this is not true, you know, and so forth. So happened that I and one of the neighbors got into an argument. Apparently that because one of the neighbors is 2 of them is dealing with several police, 2 of the officers, not the officers exactly that came, but one of them that came, but 2 of them that was there is dealing with probably 2 officers that's transparent to St. David Department. So apparently, while getting into the argument with one of the neighbors, apparently one of them called back the police. So while it being in the argument with the young lady, apparently the police came back. So when the police came back, now they came out of the vehicle and they tell me that I'm under arrest. So now I'm asking the officer, what is it I'm under arrest for? Which is he just continues saying you are under arrest. So I keep asking him, what is it I'm under arrest for? Which he's not saying. You are under arrest. Probably about over 3 to 4 times. I keep asking him the same question. Then he said, get into the police, get into the transport. I said, officer, I'm not saying that I'm not going, but you need to tell me what I'm under arrest for, which he did not say. Before I could turn and think about it, one of the officers, out of the 3 officers that came up, the one that I did not recognize grabbed me from behind in my neck and pulled me away a little way from which the police van was parked, pulled me away, and while the officer had me in my neck, the other 2 officers began slapping me, and one happened that he punched me in the face, which I did not show exactly which one, but I suspect is the one that named by Kelvin John. I suspected
okay. Go ahead.
I suspected it was him because he was the more aggressive one, and he's the one that's dealing with one of the young lady that, you know, the neighbors. And so
In the process, they start slapping me and one punch me to the face. My breasts have been exposed, and my breast was outside, and my underwear, and my body was outside, and this kind of thing, And then after they finish do what they do, the officer, which is Kimon Williams, tell him, well, leave her now. And then the officer that had me in my neck lift me and threw me over the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very similar to what you accounted in the video, right? But let me ask you a question. The kids, did the kids come back? Did the kids come back to your care after
Yeah.
they ran away?
Yes,
So-
yes, they did. Yes, the children did. Yes, they
Okay,
did
so the
come
kids
back.
are fine. Do
Yeah,
you
they're
think
okay.
do you think that you were somehow targeted by the neighbors?
Yes, I will say that. I would like to say that because of previous problems that I had with them. Is not the first time that I'm having this kind of problem, especially when it comes to my children. They have made several reports, to the police and other, stating that I'm abusing my children and stuff like that. So that's what really kind of got me angry that night when they called the station and said that I put my children out, and that did not happen.
Right.
So I think that's the main reason that really caused the whole drama, start the whole thing,
Okay, all right. The other thing is, and we're gonna go because we have Mr. Earl Maitland who is also on the line. We're gonna speak to him. So the police tell you that you're under arrest. Did you
Yeah.
start? Did you fight? Did you start an altercation with the police following the
No,
police?
I did.
Go ahead.
No, I did not. I did not. I absolutely did not. And the whole point about it, the whole thing about it, is a question I would like to ask the public, or would like to quote. With any female whatsoever, see three, not just the police, but with any female look to attack any three, you see three male and look to attack them. That doesn't make any sense. And then plus is the police. You understand? I did all that to the police. I attacked the police. All that to the police. And still yet that the police have not arrested me. If they did all that and I was under arrest, so they wanted to arrest me, you think they couldn't have? It's because they know what they did was wrong. Because after the whole thing happened, they jumped in the van and they just left. There's no how I don't believe there's no how any female will see, especially when it comes to the police. There's no how I believe, even if it's just not me, even if it's somebody else, there's no how I believe that any female will see three male police officers and look to thank them. There's no how I believe that, and that did not happen because I believe if I had attacked the police, there's full rights, and I knew they would have arrested me. I knew that.
Right. You said that all your clothes and stuff was fling out, and your underwear and all your breath,
Yeah.
everything was. How did you end up like that? If the police is taking you to the car, were you resisting? Were you physically combative towards them? Hence the reason why
No.
it started to get like that.
No. The eyewitnesses and the police officers, two in the police officers, as I said, one is dealing with the officer that was there presently. I think they are good friends, So sometimes I believe that the police, sometimes when they see their friends, probably they're trying to, impress their friends. Personally, that's how I see it. That's how I get what I get out of it. You understand? Because when the officer, apparently when me and the neighbor get into the argument, one of them probably called back the police. So when the police come, now the police happen that they reach me and the young lady in the argument, they jump out of the vehicle and tell me I'm under arrest. So that's where I'm asking him now what it is I'm under arrest for. So he keep telling me I'm under arrest. So then I'm asking him what it is because the police just jump out of nowhere, out of the blues, and telling you're under arrest. It's obvious you're going to ask that question. You want to know what it is you under arrest for because, out of the blues, the police is just here telling me I'm under arrest. So, come on, you're going to question what is it I'm under arrest for? He's not telling me what I'm under arrest for. Then he's telling me get into the police van. I say, officer, I am not going into the police van unless you tell me what I'm under arrest for. But apparently the other one feel will probably tell himself from my perspective, how I see it. The other one probably tell himself, well, the officer is like telling me sometimes I believe that the police is like, if you don't know your rights and if you don't know the law, they will just take advantage of you. So apparently that's my opinion, how I see it. The other officer probably tell himself, well, the officer telling me I'm under arrest and I'm not going. So he just come and grab me from behind and they just start sharing blows, like, as the child or some kind of thing. You know?
Wow. Let's bring in Mr. Earl Maitland on this right now. Earl, you heard what everything that transpired. You're very visible in the community and understanding. Uh, Earl, from your vantage point, what the hell? What really happened? What really happened here? Why are we hearing so much a contradictory message from this story? It's one story with three different sides that is totally polar opposite. What's going on?
Right. A pleasant good afternoon, Junior, to Candy and the viewers. What I would begin with is that it's a very serious situation. As a matter of fact, all allegations of police brutality is to be taken seriously. Um, I saw some of the comments on Facebook under the news clip where question was brought to the testimony of Ms. Joseph, as it relates to specifically the part where she related that she was thrown over a bridge by one of the officers. And after getting in contact with her, I tried to find out exactly how high was this bridge, how tall is this bridge that she's speaking of. And that bridge is actually about 2 to 3 feet in height. That is about 2 to 3 feet in height. So it appears that many persons were of the opinion that she was lying, because many times um, we might um, affiliate a bridge with something that is extremely tall. But based on the structure, it is actually 2 or 3 feet tall. So I'd like to say that so there is some credibility, because persons were saying if one is thrown over a bridge, that means they should probably have broken bones or so forth. So that does not justify um, the person saying that she is not speaking the truth if she's thrown over a bridge. Secondly, there has been evidence to show that something actually occurred. As you're playing the news clips there, Junior, we could clearly see that there are bruises on Miss Joseph's skin, under the neck, I guess to the side of the face and elsewhere. So we can clearly see that something actually occurred there. Um,
Yeah, but I don't think that we're debating that something didn't occur, but we have where they're stating that there are four
mhm,
eyewitnesses who have
uh-huh,
a total opposite conclusion to what happened there.
mhm.
Is it
Now,
that they are coming together collectively to disregard her story? Why is it that the four eyewitnesses are contradicting her story?
now, Junior, you're asking me why somebody is doing something, eh? Now, what I would say, Junior, after listening to the information, Ms. Joseph and I, we met with um the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Martin. She related the story much like she's relating it now, and she would have related it prior to that meeting on the local media. Now, the information that was provided, I believe after listening to Miss Joseph right now, she did not mention that on that very night when the police officers left her area, her residence where she was allegedly arrested, right? She actually traveled to the St. David's police station to make a report against the officers.
Right.
It was then, I understand, after even making a report to the officers um, about the police brutality that she is alleging, she provided the names of four persons, which we believe are the same four persons that Mr. Cohen has said are saying that she did something totally opposite to what the claims that she are making. So in the meeting with the commissioner, we actually said to the gentleman that if Ms. Joseph is aware that the four names that she is presenting in her statement
Right.
are persons that do not speak to her in the community, she could have simply she could have simply not mentioned those names.
Mm-hmm.
So, Junior, you have her on the line, so you should ask her why would she, if she knows,
Mm-hmm.
why would she give the names of persons who do not speak to her as witnesses? She could have simply said that they were not there. So she would better explain that for you.
I don't hear anybody.
Yeah. Okay. You're back on with us here. Earl was just making mention that you had given the names of the witnesses to the
Yeah.
yes. So why did you give did you give them the names of everybody that was there that was present?
Yeah. Yeah, what I would like to say is that when Superintendent Cohen came on and said that the eyewitnesses that was there, he made it sound like they just get off of their own wheel and came into the station and give report. They didn't just come and give the report like that. I laid it out in the report that I gave them. I that included the eyewitnesses in the report. And if there was anything to hide, just imagine, think about it. If there was anything I know definitely me and none of them don't get along. And if I had anything to hide, I would have lied and said it was just me and the police. You understand? Because just imagine if you know definitely you and somebody don't get along, you don't expect them to say anything good about you, right?
Right.
So if I had anything to lie, I would have not, I would have never included them in the statement. I who give the eyewitnesses, I will let it out in the statement. So that is why they get the eyewitnesses. They probably come to them the next day or 2 days after to get the eyewitnesses because I laid it out in the report. They didn't just get up on their own and went to the station and gave the statement. I laid the eyewitnesses in the report. So that's how they was aware of who they were. And if I had anything to hide, I know me and the superintendent don't get along. I would have lied and say there was nobody around. It was just me and the police.
Right.
And the police officers and these females, they are very good friends. I could speak because I'm living around here, and I could speak from that. All of them is very good friends, so I expect them to speak on the police behalf.
Right.
I
Let,
do expect that.
let's talk about and that's understandable. I understand that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bruises that you sustained, right? We see that
Mm-hmm.
there is like some bruise to the side of your neck. There's one like right under your
Yeah.
chin. You say that your eye like you have a
Yeah.
black eye, and you outline some
Yeah.
other points in the video that shows like someone like something happened. What happened there? Did they hit you with something? Was it the
No,
what caused the
no.
bruise to your neck and to your chin?
Well, I guess it's true. Well, to be honest, I guess it's true in the scuffle with them. How that one was grabbing. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I said this one did that or that one did that. I'll be telling a lie because being in the scuffle with them, those officers hitting on me, and plus that one grabbed me from behind. The bruises come about from, well, I guess as much as all three of them because I don't know what to say. I can't pinpoint to say this one did that or that one did that, but it was all in the process while the whole thing happened.
When you say scuffle, you mean like all three of them was coming at you and lunging at you and coughing at you and holding you down?
No, okay. When the officer said that I was under arrest, as I said, the officer told me that I was under arrest for the first time. So I keep asking him what it is I'm under arrest for, which he's not saying. Over three to four times. Then he tell me go into the police van. I said, officer, I'm not going into the police van unless you tell me what I'm under arrest for. So apparently the other officer that I did not recognize apparently will tell himself no. Well, the officer talking to me over and over and which I'm not listening. So he just come and he take on you. So he grabbed me from behind, which me and the officer that was telling me under arrest was standing right beside the police van. So the other one, how the police van to the way the police van parked now, the other two officers, which is Kelvin John and the officer that I did not recognize, came out on the left side of the transport, and Kimon Williams came out on the right side, which he came out to the side which I was standing. So with the officer that told me I was under arrest, Kimon Williams, we were standing on the right side of the transport. Then the two other officers that came out on the other side came around the transport because I was facing the officer. So the officer came from behind and grabbed me from behind. So think about it. If I was under arrest and I needed to be under arrest, I was standing right there. You won't put me trying to force me to get me into the vehicle if I was resisting arrest, but you pulled me away from the vehicle, and then the two other officers now which is Kelvin John and Kimon Williams. The officer that grabbed me in the neck is the officer that I did not recognize. So Kimon Williams and Kelvin John now start punching, slap and punches to the face. I firmly believe that the punch I really received under the eyes is from Kelvin John because he was the more aggressive one. Because at the end of the I forgot to include this. At the end of everything that happened, I remember him saying that he's going to lose me in jail, and long he had it for me. So that gave me the reasons to believe that, he is probably the one that punched me under the eye. And maybe could be he's the one that probably received more of the bruises from.
Yeah.
I'm just, suggesting because
were you fighting back? Were you fighting back, lunging back, coughing back, punching back at the police while they was trying to
Well, I won't actually really say fighting back, but all I just was meaning what I remember saying is to let me go, let me go, let me go. What
So
am
did
I
you throw a
for?
punch?
Let me go.
Did you throw a
Let me go.
punch? Did you throw a punch? Did you fling anything? Did you toss anything? Did you cough?
Well, maybe
Kick?
my hands. Well, I guess that's much my hands.
So you lunge at the police.
Well, you could be, because being there, the officer grabbed me so tight in my neck and them punching up so happened that, yes, it could be that I probably throw back a couple of hands, it's like in a sense defending myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Junior.
So somebody just posted a question there, right? I had to laugh, right? I want to get your take on it. They said, whatever happened to comply and complain? Comply, the police say you're under arrest. Okay, take your arrest, go in the van, and then complain later. What's wrong with that analogy in this situation?
Well, Junior, whatever happened to being professional as a peace officer or as a public servant? Now, even the Constitution of Grenada states under Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, Chapter 1, Section 8B2 or whatever it is, it states that somebody that is charged should be informed of what they are charged for in a reasonable period of time. Now, if somebody is asking a police officer, a peace officer, a public servant, what is it that I am under arrest for? If there is justifiable cause to remove a person from standing on the Grenadian soil, from their liberty, right, from their freedom of movement, the officer has an obligation to say, look, this is what you are under arrest for. And based on what we are hearing, based on what we have heard, Ms. Joseph asked over 3 times, what am I under arrest for? Now, Junior, if I came to you as a police officer and I said to you, get into a van, into a police van, you're under arrest, would you just willingly get into that van knowing that you are a free human being?
True.
Would you just get into the van, or would you ask, why am I under arrest? Now, how hard is it to inform a person why you believe that you have justifiable cause to take away their constitutional right to freedom of movement. So comply and complain, although we would like to continue to say to people that you must comply, we have to first understand that we're not slaves. We're free human beings who are paying our officers, because all of these officers in the RGPF, they are our people. And we're paying them to do a job professionally without bias, without fear, without favor. So if we continue to tell our people that they need to comply and then complain after, what we are saying to our people is that you must not stand for your rights. This is how I'm seeing it. We cannot just allow persons to take away our constitutional rights that were fought for simply by just saying, get into the van. And in fact, Junior, I have never heard of any situation where somebody would be asking a police officer, what am I under arrest for? And that officer would not tell the person what they are under arrest for.
Right.
Recently, Junior, there was this gentleman that had a broken number plate, and it was just a piece that was chipped off, and the officer said that he was under arrest. And then the guy asked, what am I under arrest for? And then the officer said to him, after the guy asked twice, he said it was for disorderly conduct. I believe that is what he said. But he did provide a reason to the gentleman, right? The law, based on what I recall from the police regulations, the police act, it says that the officer must just simply touch the person with their hand and say you're under arrest, and for this reason. So it does not just give you a right because you are able to detain somebody, even if it's for questioning. You need to tell them what it is for. You
Yeah.
can't just expect people to give up their liberty as free human beings like that. We must be professional and consistent
I wanna
when
I
it
wanna
comes.
re-examine I wanna re-examine and play back this clip again, right? The police respond again. We listen to it from the top, but I wanna listen to it again. I wanna listen to it again, knowing that what we know now, based on what we just learned. Let's listen to Vanny Cohen again in his explanation and rebuttal to the incident.
I just want to go on record as saying that what we have heard in the news last night is very far from what has happened. And in due course and in due time, the truth of this incident will be made known.
Superintendent Vanny Cohen, head of the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, as he debunked claims of police brutality reported by Candy Roberts of Lasaja and David against members of the RGPF. In last evening's newscast, Joseph told GBN she had been assaulted by 3 male officers attached to the St. David police station. Superintendent Kerwin said upon responding to a call, the 3 officers were met with aggression. This is based on accounts by eyewitnesses.
We have had 4 eyewitnesses' account of the incident outside that of the police officers. And all 4 of the eyewitnesses are very consistent in terms of what has happened. And what has happened is not police brutality, as was told. The lady was arrested and refused to go to the police transport, and in fact, she attacked the police. There were comments that were made about if she had a knife, what and what she would not have done. Those comments were alarming and very perplexing by those who witnessed the incident. We did not have to go out to search for information. It was so disgusting that many of the civilians who were present came into the police station and voluntarily provided information to the police.
Tolerance, patience, tact. The superintendent.
All right. So we saw and heard Mr. Vanny Cohen's statement again. I wanted to re-examine it because just so that it would bring a little more context to this whole story here. Again, what Vanny Cohen, and I bring back in the young lady back, Ms. Joseph, back on the live. He's also saying a statement that you made to the police, saying something that if you had a knife, you would stab them. Did you threaten to stab the police?
No, I did not. And there's no way I would have done that still. Still, there's no way that I've done that, and the police still haven't arrested me. That's the whole point. When I've listened to Vanny Cohen making this kind of statement, I was like, "You got to be. Are you really kidding me?" I said that. This much. Think about it. I attacked the police. right? Threatened the police, and still, yet the officers, 3 officers, male officers, and still have not made an arrest. I mean, think about it. Something here is missing. Something doesn't sound right here. You are telling the police. Then again, you threaten them to stab and all this, and still the police, this police, and they never made an arrest. How is that possible? Something doesn't make sense. I mean, think about it. Common sense was made before book. All this, attack the police. Where you ever hear that? Anybody know definitely before you cuss about or before you say F this, and the police say they could to arrest you. So how is that possible? Come on, Mr. Vanny Cohen, Superintendent Cohen. I mean, think about it before you made your remark. I mean, think about it. All this, and the police never made it. They jump into the van and they drove off and never made an arrest. Never then come back the next day, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, and I didn't have no fear. I didn't have to run from anything because I know definitely I was not wrong, no how. And Mr. Vanny Cohen, I'm surprised he never even said that. And listening what he said, and the platform said already big time that he was already taking sides, and he gave me the feedback that he's very in favor. In the terms that when the incident happened, I went there the Monday morning, and I went up on the 4th, and I went into the department, and I explained my situation to one officer there, and the officer there gave me 2 persons to see. They say ask to see Superintendent Cohen or Gawi. Okay, so I left and I went down to the bottom section. I went in there, and then I asked to see Cohen or Gawi. The officer on desk tell me that's up on the 4th, right? Up January for the color. Okay, the officer on desk tell me that these 2 men is on holiday. And to be honest, Cohen was standing as a budget. I know him, but I was not too sure if that was really his name. But I know him. Come on, we see these people on television. Come on, we hearing them over and over. We know these people, but I didn't show exactly what was his name. And Vanny Cohen was standing right there, and he heard me ask for him. And the officer on desk told me that this 2 men is on holiday. And I explained my situation to her, and she said that here is where I need to make the report, and so forth, etc., etc. Okay, I laid the report. They gave me the police form, the report to go and follow the doctor papers and everything. I did just so. The next day, which is the Tuesday, I went back. But I went back to the top section where I've been first, the Monday morning. When I went back there, I told the officer that when she sent me down to the bottom, the officer on desk told me that this boat man is on holidays. The officer watched me in a manner. She said holidays. So she called down to the bottom, and she asked them. She told the same officer that was on the desk before. I took her number, but I cannot remember her badge number. She asked them, so what happened? So she explained to them what happened. She said, the officer said, no, she did not tell me that. She told me that they stepped out for a few minutes. They didn't hear me. She told me that's what she tell the young lady, the other officer. So the officer said, well, okay, well, anyhow, she is back here to see Mr. Vanny Cohen. Allow her to see him. She said, right now, she said, yes, I was saying, but Vanny Cohen is in a meeting. Okay, I left and I went back down. As soon as I budged the door, there Mr. Vanny Cohen was standing right there again, heard me ask for him, and did not refrain from presenting himself. The same officer asked me what it was about again. I said, okay, well, I bring back the doctor papers, so, and I gave my report. Well, I didn't really give the report the first day. They gave me the doctor papers. I filled it out, and that day I gave my report. Vanny Cohen was standing right there. He never presented himself. He never said a word, nothing. So it wasn't even surprising to hear him what he was saying on the platform, because he's already said that he was taking side and he did not want to hear me. And the whole thing about it, you were standing right there when I came to you to give my report to air my vows to you. You refuse from listening to me, and there you come on the platform and saying something totally different. So what that says a lot. Yeah. That totally says a lot, because you were standing there on 2 occasions and heard me come in and ask for you and did not present yourself. Why didn't you?
Right.
Why didn't you? And here you are on social media platform coming and saying that I am thing the police and so when I come to see you to explain my situation to you, so you would have get a
Yeah,
proper
direct.
understanding and so forth, of
Hmm.
what the whole scene was. And then the next day you're on social media platform saying something different, speaking against me. It was not speaking in my favor. That was totally not nice and unfair.
Yeah, I guess the biggest
You know?
question, Earl, I want you to chime in here is now, why did the police, or why do you think that the police officers opted not to arrest her? What defense did they make? Because you also went to the police. What defense could they have made why they opted not to arrest her but instead take her by summons if she was fighting so much?
Now, Junior, we have many different types of crimes, right? Threatening language, especially against police officers, is something that is taken seriously. That is not as simple as somebody using obscene language. Won't you agree?
True.
Right. Now, if somebody has just assaulted three police officers, and by the way, Ms. Joseph is approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall, right, Junior?
Hmm.
Um, if somebody has just assaulted three police officers and threatened them with knives, do you believe that the police officers would use a summons to take that person to court? Also, my next question to you is, if Ms. Joseph was brought to court and she was sentenced and she was awarded confinement at a detention center, right? And she resisted. Do you believe that the officers would then again send a summons, a written piece of paper saying to her, you need to find yourself in Richmond Hill prison because this is what is supposed to happen? Does that make sense to you, Junior? Um,
That was
I
the first
mean,
stuck out at me. I mean, I don't know the frame of mind. I don't know the state of mind. Why they didn't take her? As far as what they're saying, well, it would have escalated into something much bigger. And that's the confusing part of it to me, right? You came to arrest her. You told her she was under arrest. She put up a fight, resisting the arrest. There was altercation, yet you left and you didn't arrest her.
uh-huh.
And I'm trying to understand, why they seriously took the decision. If it's three police officers, you're saying that three police officers couldn't arrest one female. That's the confusing part to me, and I don't quite get it. So that's a
Now,
question for Danny. I know you cannot answer it either.
yeah, yeah. Now, also, it is, it's based on what I understand is protocol to respond to incidents concerning females, at least with a female officer,
Right.
um, protect the male officers, right? To protect the male officers. They would have been aware that they were called in to deal with a mother, a young mother. Um, they did not take a female officer from the station. In fact, they went, three males went there, um, knowing that this is what they're going to be doing. Normally, when it comes to children, we have a lot of great social workers here in Grenada, right here in Grenada, who take calls from the police and from family members and so forth 24/7, Junior. A lot of great social workers who would normally accompany police officers to situations like these. Now, I am very disturbed to hear that the three officers, when they're on their own, the three male officers, and I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage other officers to bring along a female officer when you're responding to a situation, not only because we expect that as the public, but to protect yourselves as well.
Right.
Mr. Cohen's pronouncement, as I said, Junior, I was not there, but we are weighing out the evidence. We are weighing out what we are hearing on both sides. And
Yeah.
Mr. Cohen's pronouncement, um, basically saying that she is guilty. It's a very dangerous thing to do at that point in time and so speedily because four persons miraculously went into the station and gave reports. Four persons in the neighborhood, in a neighborhood that Ms. Joseph described as almost as a war zone in her meeting with the commissioner of police.
Mhm.
Not every time in his experience and discretion, Mr. Cohen, I believe he was a prosecutor and so forth. I believe he would have prosecuted cases. There have been many times when witnesses would have come forward in light of it being a conflict, a case where they would have tainted the evidence to ensure that one party would have succeeded, even though it was not being truthful. Right? Based on what Ms. Joseph is saying, one of the officers that responded
Mhm.
was actually, or is actually, or at the time, he was in a relationship with one of the ladies in the neighborhood
But
who
that's
claimed.
allegations, and we don't know that. We cannot independently
No, but
verify.
I'm saying, and I'm saying this is the situation. This is the situation as described by Ms. Joseph, right? Now, that this is why I'm saying an investigation that
Yeah.
has to be ongoing. A pronouncement like that should not have been made so soon.
No,
Those two,
agree. I agree. I agree. Let me. Julian has a point here, right? She say in some situation when it had escalated to that point, where there would be an uproar or chaos with the public, at times the police officer would not initiate the arrest but would take the matter by summon. I guess it has escalated a lot, hence the reason of physical. But let me ask, let me ask you this question here. I heard you saying something earlier, but we didn't hear you. Why do you think that they did not arrest you? They did not take you.
Well, because there was nothing to be arrested for.
Hmm.
The police not gonna just go to see somebody and you didn't do anything wrong and just arrest you. And then the whole thing about it that they're guilty after what they did because they know definitely what they did was wrong.
Right.
They totally know what they did was wrong.
Has anyone contacted you? Have you gotten a summons? Were you called into the police station to, or
No, I was not. No, I wasn't.
were you charged for anything up to this point? Could this happen all around the
Nothing,
fort?
nothing.
Wow. Hmm. Are you surprised that that all of this happened and the police is making all this claim allegations as to what happened and what didn't happen, yet for all they didn't make an arrest?
I'm very surprised by it. What I can say to the public, the commissioner of police, he has been apprised. He actually met with Miss Joseph, and he has the matter on the investigation himself and the Mr. John Mitchell, ACP John Mitchell. They are investigating the matter. But we are speaking of charges such as assault on police,
Hmm.
threatening language, resisting arrest. These are serious charges. This is not just the use of obscene language. This is not just walking into somewhere and just picking up a pencil. These are very serious charges.
Right.
We are aware that males, who could have escalated a situation even further, much further, would have been detained by many means, right? We are speaking about a 5'5" tall female who could have just been placed in handcuffs. And this is why I continue to to see that our police officers need to go to these type of reports whilst on duty or any time when on duty they need to have their body cameras on. I've been called
Yeah,
questions
because
26.
I haven't heard, I haven't seen. Mind you, I heard that they are video recording. Someone called me earlier and they said that they have video recording of it. None was released. I didn't independently see any video recording, but the person who said that they had the video recording claimed that it shows um Candy sort of in an altercation with police. I don't know what point of it was, but that's what the person claimed in the recording that they have that I didn't independently verify or see. Before we go any further, Earl, I want to open up the phone lines to people because I know that there are a lot of questions that the public wants to chime in on. They're just as confused to hear this one incident with so many different sides. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to call in the 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Call us in right now and ask a question. We got Earl and we got Candy on the line. Your opportunity to call again. The number is 718-701-5720. And again, the story is very confusing. Right, we have a situation where police went to potentially make an arrest, allegedly make an arrest to an individual, a female, over the fact that it was said that they came there specifically because there was claims that she had put out her kids, which she said that she didn't. They came there and they was well they wanted to arrest her, right? The police side of it was that the situation gotten so bad that Candy started to fight back at them, and so much so that they decided at the end of the day it was going to get so in an uproar that they decided not to arrest her. All right. Candy saying that it didn't happen like that. She was inquiring to the police officers why they arrested her. Nobody told her why they arrested her, wanted to arrest her. Instead, they told her to find her way inside of the vehicle. She didn't go inside of the vehicle, and a questioning and then altercation happened shortly afterwards. So that's what happened. Is two contradictory piece of information here from the police and from Candy, and we haven't spoken to any eyewitness. We don't have independent verification on any eyewitness, but that's what we're hearing. So let's open up the phone lines to you guys, 718-701-5720. Let's jump to the line right now. Caller live, go right ahead.
Hi, Julian.
Hey, right, go right ahead.
I'm a little bit taken back. I'm like confused.
Right.
Because after the incident was reported by the young lady, the police came on the radio and he was basically calling her a liar.
Right, yes.
So why was he trying to call her a liar or calling her a liar without knowing all the facts? Is there something else that we're not hearing and not seeing?
Well, that's what that's what Earl was saying. He made a declaration to it saying that that she's lying, and I don't know if he entertained both sides of the story or fully understood both sides of the story, but he made a determination, which I think that he should not have done. That's prejudice to the case right there. But I get your point, caller. I see the call drop. Anyway, the line is still open, 718-701-5720. 718-701-5720. Candice, you wanted to say anything? I know you didn't hear the caller.
Yeah, I didn't hear the caller.
But she was saying that why did the police come on television and call you a liar before they were privy to all the information.
Exactly. And another point again. Listening to what Vanny Cohen saying, you could already pinpoint that he was already taking sides. Because for instance, imagine you know definitely I came in there to lay my concern, my report to you, and you did not present yourself. And you on social media, I mean, somebody else would have used statement like we don't want to jump into conclusions. We're still investigating the matter and so forth. So for just listening, Van Cohen, just what he was saying, you could already tell that he was already taking sides and is like,
Yeah.
you could tell there's already you know, things, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
These are already taking sides.
Well, I'll chime in right here, right? Again, and we open up the phone lines to all of our viewers. I'll chime in right here. What's next for the case? What do you see for this case here? The police came, they didn't make an arrest, they left. She said that they tossed her over a wall and left. Where are we going next with this case?
Well, the commissioner is yet to make a determination. As we said, we met with the commissioner, Ms. Joseph and I, and ACP John Mitchell, and they are currently investigating the matter. They're weighing out all the evidence, they're gathering information, and we are awaiting word from Mr. Martin, right, Junior? And I would like to say something, Junior. Society is, it's very chaotic when it comes to people and professions and so forth. And although we have persons in professional capacities who we would expect to always be honest and or to always honor the law and humanity and everything like that, it does not always happen like that. We do have a lot of good police officers in the RGPF. We do have a lot of good police officers.
Yes.
Just recently, Junior, I believe last week, Thursday, I would have personally called the Grenville police station to get somebody. Junior, I'm hearing a feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Don't forget your train of thought there. I just picked up a call here, and that's what you're hearing. Let's just take the call, and then we'll come back to your point. Caller, go right ahead. Caller, where you calling us from? Hello? 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 Okay, that caller is listening to the live. Caller, live, where you calling us from?
Hi, I'm calling from Toronto.
Oh, go ahead, Toronto.
First of all, I just wanted to express I can't find the word right now, but my sorrows
Mm-hmm.
to be hearing what had happened as a woman to a woman. There's always two sides to every story. Nonetheless, based on what I'm gathering, is the fact that um, there was some injuries that has been inflicted upon her. Um, Allegedly, some injuries, which is quite obvious. Nonetheless, what I wanted to say is that um, young lady, in a situation like that, next time, if you do have a phone, you are entitled to pull your phone out. When you ask the question once, what am I under arrest for? And that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
that is the problem with Grenadian police. It's like a crime. It's like you're actually being using the word F you to them to get them irritated to arrest you for asking, what have I done? What am I being arrested for? You ask the question. You are entitled to know what are you being arrested for.
Right.
You can't just grab someone and just say, you are under arrest for what? What is a crime? Did I steal? Am I a person of interest or something? What is it? It doesn't matter. Just give something to say what it is. Even if you say, you stole. Like, yeah, I stole. The point is you get something. So just go with it. And then you deal with the situation being closed door, proven guilty, innocent until guilty. But if there is nothing there to actually go along with to say, what am I being arrested for? There is no way you can able to arrest someone without knowing they have the right to know what are they being arrested for. So in a situation like that, young lady, and to everybody else, if you are being arrested and you have your phone, you ask the question once, then you just say to them, what am I being arrested for? And they're not telling you, you said, okay, this is not going anyway. This is not an argument. This is a discussion. And if you're not going to tell me what you're being arrested for, can I see your superior? Can I speak to somebody who's in charge? And if that still doesn't work, put on your camera. Put your camera on and insist. Can I see your superior? Just speak nicely. You don't speak aggressive. You don't make the situation worse. You don't threaten. You just speak nicely. Can I see your superior? They can talk all they like. Can I see your superior? They grab you and anyway your camera is going. They throw your camera. The video is working. That's your evidence of assault that your camera go all over the place. Somebody took it from you. Somebody threw your phone.
Right.
That damaged the property. So the point I'm saying is that, you know, there is different way, as my mom would say, of dealing with dogs. So I'm not calling you a dog, first of all. I mean, like, it's an old saying that there's different way of dealing with things. So aggression does not help the situation. So if that was the case, then it doesn't help. Just remain calm, take the breath, fight for your rights in a calm way.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, caller. We appreciate
Thank you.
your input on this. 718-701-5720. Earl, you wanted to add anything there?
Yeah. So the caller is correct. I'll just finish the statement I was making. Now, I was speaking about professionalism and professions and so on. Many times we believe that the real criminals are those guys sitting on the street who might be on the block whole day. But we have to remember that realistically, there are criminals in shirt and tie that are walking around. It does not mean that because someone is a police officer that they will tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth at
Right.
any point in time. The fact that we are here, Junior, is that something did happen and the possibility does exist, seeing that we are dealing with different mentalities in our police force, that the possibility of police brutality exists. It does exist in this situation. Now, there is a certain bias
Thank you,
that
I do. Very much if I do.
Hold on.
when
Let me lower that person audio down. Earl, go ahead, Earl. Go ahead. Call
yeah,
us that way. Go ahead, Earl.
there is a certain bias that many persons have when it comes to police officers. They believe that the police are automatically guilty or automatically innocent,
Right.
right? Now, many times, and I'm sure, Junior, if this situation was just where we said, listen, three men, three average men on the block attacked Miss Joseph. And even if we said that they threw Miss Joseph over the moon, many persons would have believed it because we're speaking about average citizens who are just lying on the block.
Right.
Now, how different is this situation when we speaking about persons in uniform? Are we not aware that police officers have been arrested before because they have broken the law? And finally, Junior, on this point, the caller is correct. Something that I forgot to add. Now, according to the police regulations, regulation 201, it states that when an officer is on duty and that officer is asked a question by any member of the public, that officer is supposed to respond in the most respectful and utmost, give his utmost attention to that person. Now, if somebody is asking the question, what am I under arrest for? Based on regulation 201 civility, that officer has an obligation, a legal obligation, and a moral obligation to inform that person why they are under arrest. Now, in my situation, if I was told that I was under arrest and I asked the question, why am I under arrest? And that officer or officers did not give me the reason why they are placing me under arrest. I would reasonably believe that I was being kidnapped, right? There's a thin line between kidnapping somebody and arresting somebody, Junior. And we are encouraging our officers to show there is a difference, that there is a professional side of doing things, and we are going to maintain our calm based on the police regulations. We will not act with anger or haste or bias. We would be professional and say to the person, listen, we have to take away your constitutional right of movement because you have committed such a crime.
Yeah.
This is what we want to see.
Let- let's jump on the line. We got a call on the line. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Brooklyn. The person that just I understand what you were saying about taking out your camera and recording. But let's remember we are in Grenada. We are not in New York.
Right, right.
That's one. Secondly, why was the police called to the person's place in the first place? Why was the police there?
Well, no, she
Why
said
was
it.
police there?
Well, she said it that the police came from calls that they
Because
got
of her.
because of her child, that they claimed that her child was she thrown out her kids from the house, something along those lines. So they came
Yes,
there to investigate that.
but that's really sad. But I believe there's more to the story. There's more to the story than what it is because it's too tied up to make any good sense.
Right.
So somebody needs to speak the truth because there is more to that story. Maybe between the police officer and her, did they have a personal relationship? What? There's more to the story, Junior. There
Right.
has to be more to the story.
And we're going to continue
Thank you
to
very much.
monitor. Thank you so much.
Bye
Appreciate
bye.
it. Um, we kind of getting on to the wire. Candy, any last word you want to say before we wrap up?
Well, I think that's it so far.
Okay. And if you have, the high brass listening, what would you want to say to them?
Well, I would like to say to the police, the police is to protect and to serve and not to be brutalizing the nation, especially when it comes to us women. And I would like to ensure and to see that justice prevail, especially when it comes to women. And I would like to ensure that this doesn't repeat itself. And I would just like to see that justice being served, especially when it comes to these three policemen, and to ensure that this doesn't repeat itself again.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your input and for sharing your story here with us. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, cool.
All right.
Earl, you got the last word on this one.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you see?
Right. So I'm not sure where to begin, Junior. There's so much to say. But I was making a point earlier that we have a lot of good officers in our GPF. I called the police. There was a gentleman who was hallucinating, and the police came and brought that gentleman to the hospital. It was after 12 at night. One neighbor who was running around, just breaking bottles on the road and everything like that. They came without any altercation, without pulling out a gun or a baton. They were able to apprehend that gentleman
Right.
and bring him to the hospital to get the medical attention that he needed. Now, unfortunately, had there been other persons of different mindsets um, 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 who would have come to report to that call there, the outcome could have been different. Um, we appreciate our good officers. We are taxpayers. We have a right to receive proper service. We have a moral obligation and a legal obligation to be our brother's keeper. We also have a right to justice. Everyone has a right to justice. We have to continue to be objective and realistic and not make fun of allegations of police brutality, no matter who it comes from, no matter how crazy, how incredible the story might sound, right? Many times we do not expect certain things to happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? I could tell you the story of a 19-year-old boy who was brought to South St. George Police Station and a police officer in his almost 30s pulled a gun on that young, defenseless, unarmed boy and said to him, "Run so I can shoot you," and pointed a gun right
Mm.
in front of the station. I could tell you the story of that, right? This is reality that we're speaking of. But I can also tell you of situations where I would have witnessed police officers crossing elderly people in the middle of St. George on the busy streets in town and so on. And of police officers actually getting together and raising funds to assist persons and so on. But the reality of the situation is that too many times we make fun of victims. Too many times we just dash away the claims of victims because we believe it makes no sense. But it does not have to make sense to you or to anyone. The truth doesn't always have to make sense. And we have to remember that the possibility exists and we have to seek justice. We have to pursue justice and ensure that everybody has that right to justice and that entitlement. Um, with that being said, Junior, um, the commissioner of police is looking into the matter. He has looked into the matter of that young man in Pearls there, and we saw what had happened based on evidence. I do know that he will continue doing so, following the evidence and allowing justice to take its course.
Okay.
Right? So, I would have liked to hear that the human rights groups in Grenada would have reached out to Miss Joseph before Ridealong would have. I would have liked to hear that Gina would have reached out to Miss Joseph before Ridealong would have. And other groups that are collecting monies to ensure that women and people in Grenada would achieve justice. I would have liked to hear that. So there are so many failures, so many factors that we must place here as to why things are happening in Grenada. There are so many factors. The Public Service Commission has a role to play. If one understands the law, the Public Service Commission is responsible for the police force as well, sergeant and above that rank. The ombudsman's office, upon hearing Miss Joseph's story on the news, I'm sure they would have. It has been all over social media, GBN and MTV and so on. They were supposed to reach out to Miss Joseph to do an independent investigation. All of these entities have failed us. And this is why many of us, including myself, would have a lot of distrust for the system, for the police force, and so forth. But all in all, Junior, thank you for having us. God
Good.
is good. I am sure that Grenada will be better one day.
We're gonna continue to monitor this particular story, Earl, and thanks for coming forward with this story and other stories. As we say, everyone have a story to tell, and we need to tell all the sides of it. And we thank you for being that voice of sometimes the other side, but it's necessary to hear your side, nevertheless.
Yeah, no problem, Junior.
Appreciate
All
it.
right,
Thank you so much.
all right, all right.
Hey guys, so we heard from Candy, we heard from Earl. Um, we heard the police respond to that on the news briefing. But as I said, over the past couple of weeks, we did have a few incidents that happened that we're trying to get Mr. Cohen to come back on. I know he's very busy, but let's see if this time we could get to chat with him. And one of the big questions, excuse me, one of the big questions. I don't know what happened there. Having the hiccups. One of the big questions that everyone wants to know is why is it, or why was it that the young lady was not immediately arrested if she posed such a threat to the police officers? If she was so much resisting arrest and threatening the police officers, I would think that is prime. It's not like she uttered some profanities as what was alleged. It said it's a lot more. So those are the questions. Again, everyone have a story to tell, and we want to hear each side of the story. Let me also say, right, I know we have been doing a lot of stories about police brutality in the past couple weeks, but there are many, and I just want to take this opportunity to send kudos to the many police officers who do the right thing, right? Who dedicate their career in doing the right thing. I want to send kudos to the police officers in the Grenville Police Station and South St. George Police Station, not only in Grenada, but in other parts of the world, right? Police officers who get out there, they wake up in the morning, they put on the hat, they put on the uniform, and they know that the job is to do the right thing to help people. I want to salute you, the police officers who do the right thing. To the police officers who are rogue, police officers who are taking matters into their own hand, the police officers who think that it's an opportunity to beat up or box up or slap up other people's children, you know that that is not right. All right? And hopefully the police force, the police service, weed out police officers who are rogue in the force, because you're giving the whole force a bad name. All right? But again, all of this that we heard today are allegations, because there are many, many sides to this story. Hopefully, a thorough investigation will be done, and at the end, we will get at least a better understanding as to what transpired. Also, to the eyewitness who have videos or evidential value, things of evidential value, we would like to independently verify a lot of those information. I know there's a court of, there's the courthouse, and then there's the court of public opinion. We want to bring some of this evidence to the court of public opinion as well. So I know there are people who have evidence and they're holding it back. People who I heard that there are video recording of the incident, but that particular individual doesn't want to release it or not willing to release it at this point. It will do a lot of good to understand what really transpired, so we get a better understanding as to what happened. All right? Okay. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. We appreciate you guys all so much. Don't forget that in a few weeks or so, we're going to be moving our platform over to YouTube. But before we do that, we want you guys to stay connected with us. So go over right now, click the link. I'm sure that they will, my moderators will put a link in there. Go over right now and subscribe to us on YouTube. All right, subscribe to us on YouTube. We want as much of our viewers to get the message. Subscribe to us on YouTube, because in a couple weeks or so, we will not be broadcasting solely here on Facebook. So if you're already on YouTube, yay, hooray, YouTube. Also, our website, our new website is riderslive.com. You could also watch the program via riderslive.com. All right, 24 hours broadcast on riderslive.com. So 2 things I want you guys to do before you leave here. 1, go over to YouTube, right, or click on the link that is at the bottom. It's pinned right at the bottom there, right? Click on that link, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That's the first thing I want you to do for me. First thing. So everybody do it right now. Everybody do it. I'm going to give you guys a point. I'm going to give you guys 1 point when you subscribe to YouTube, right? When you guys come back, I'll give you the point. Are you ready for the point? So you ready for the point? Here is the point. Anyway, guys, that was a corny one. But anyway, I want you guys to subscribe to us on YouTube, right? So go over there and subscribe to us on YouTube, everybody, so we could move and we get everybody moving with us. And also, if you like this program and you want to make sure that we continue to do this program every day to help people around the world, to bring stories that is not really being ventilated on other media platforms, you too could support us. You could support Ridealong. You could be a supporter. There's a link right there. You could click that link to become a supporter, instant supporter. You could set up for monthly support to support the program on a monthly basis. It's up to you. But we need the support, because it will definitely help us help you. It's like paying it forward. It's like paying forward the insurance policy. That's what we do right here, right? So 3 things, right? Subscribe, check us out on Riders Live. That's where 24 hours of programming, and also become a supporter. Click that link and donate support to the Ride Along group. Thank you guys. Thank you. On the allergies and all that stuff. I can't start to say Facebook is annoying anyway. I concur. That's all I'll say, because they like to block me quick. Catch you guys again tomorrow, right here on Riders. So tomorrow, guys, we have an interesting program. We're going to be having an entrepreneur workshop where we're going to be donating $1,000 to the winner. So we have 3 semifinalists who will be presenting their case, presenting their business, and the winner will be awarded $1,000. That is tomorrow, right here on Ridealong. You can't afford to miss this one, guys. So check it out tomorrow. Peace out. Good night. Catch you guys again. And if you have a story to tell, we want to hear your story as well. All right. Bye-bye. Good night.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Oh yeah.
Hello all! Look out for the live virtual release and premiere screening of recording artist Dion Blaze's Kuchidongo, a new Afrobeat single. It'll be a 1-hour presentation featuring the release and the premiere screening of Kuchidongo, the new Afrobeat single from Dion Blaze. It's this Sunday, June 27th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The event will also include congratulatory remarks, reviews, and big ups from other popular artists and entertainment media. It's hosted by yours truly, Harold Paisity. You can view it all on dionblaze.com, riderslive.com, Ridealong Live on Facebook, Ridealong on Twitter, Ridealong on YouTube, and on Afterwork Networking Wednesdays.